Hello YouTube, this is Asatsu5, and I guess you can call this a School of Thought review between Lynn Thompson and James Williams. I've owned DVDs, and I've seen the training techniques for edged weapons from both Lynn Thompson and James Williams. And I'm going to talk about not the techniques themselves, but, the schools of thought behind them. First off, let's talk about Lynn, because I feel that he's most civilian-friendly out of all of them, or the two of them. Lynn teaches defanging the snake. He has a very Western method of fighting. It's a long-range method of fighting. You're constantly going in and out of long, medium range, and you avoid close range at all cost. And he teaches mercy, which is something that you don't really think of in self-defense. But he teaches, hey, if this person doesn't need to die, you can do this without killing him, then don't kill him. And some of you might be wondering, well, if I'm pulling out a knife, that means that something bad has definitely happened, and I probably need to kill someone. Well, think about it this way. If you're an older man, or a woman, or I'm just going to say just a guy in general, and some minors are attacking you, some kids, maybe a group of kids, and I'm not talking about 8-year-olds or anything like that. I'm talking probably 14 to 17 years old, just for all purposes only. And they're attacking you, and you can't fight off, that group unarmed. I have no problem using a weapon against unarmed attackers, because at the end of the day, I want to go home. So if I can escape or fend them off unarmed, that's cool, but at the end of the day, I'm going home. So if that means using a weapon against someone unarmed, so be it. But anyways, we're not going to get into that right now. Don't necessarily kill those people because they're all stupid and can't fully think out what they're doing, because we know that teenagers are stupid. It's just the plain facts in general. So plus they're unarmed. But yes, if you have mercy on them, you cut a few of them. The other ones realize that something serious has definitely happened. They run off. There was no need to kill anybody. You fended off the attack. You did it without killing them. And something to keep in mind, you're not just fighting for your survival at that particular moment in that self-defense situation, but you're also fighting for your freedom in court in the future. So it can be said that it's better to be charged with assault with a deadly weapon, because, at the end of the day, you're assaulting these people who are attacking you with a weapon. It's self-defense, but you're still... That's a charge that's probably going to be thrown at you. But it's better to be... it can be said that it's better to be charged with assault with a deadly weapon than mortal. Because if you, even in a self-defense situation, you kill someone, that charge is going to be thrown at you, mortal. And your defense for that is self-defense. And if you're correct in your defense and you don't do anything stupid, you'll be free. But still, it's not a good thing to be charged with mortal, and it might be better to be charged with assault with a deadly weapon. So there's that. Now, also, Lynn kind of teaches to go ahead and get your knife out before the person gets on top of you. Those situations where, you can only get your knife out when the person's on top of you, but, it's suggested that with this Western style of fighting that, before the guy is bashing your skull in, to go ahead and get your knife out. Some people perceive this as showing off, my knife and bluffing with it. I don't consider it that. There's a difference between bluffing and warning. A rattlesnake shakes his tail and rattles. He's not bluffing. You step on him, you're going to get bit. it's true you don't want to just flash your weapon for no apparent reason without intent of using it. But if you do pull your knife out and say, "Hey, get back, I'm armed," and they run off, then you have won today. And you didn't have to hurt anybody, which would make me feel better if I didn't hurt anybody. And you know, that's something to keep in mind. Even with self-defense with firearms, we're taught to say, get back, I have a gun, and then like maybe 2 seconds later after saying that, you fill them with lead, or maybe non-lead ammunition that's, super cool, new ammunition. But yeah, I noticed that when teaching self-defense with the firearm, you say, "Don't come any closer, I have a gun." And then like about half a second later, you just unload on them. But you're taught to give that warning. You don't always give that warning because you don't always have the luxury of giving that warning. But if you warn the guy ahead of time that if he attacks you, that something bad's going to happen to him, that's going to look good for you in court later on. So keep that in mind. Now, James Williams has a very, very different school of thought when it comes to edged weapons. He teaches Japanese martial arts, and the Japanese martial art for knife fighting is Tanto Jutsu. Tanto being the knife and Jutsu meaning art. So it's Tanto art, or knife art. And a Tanto is very much like a single-edged dagger. They had some double-edged ones, and there is some cutting involved, but it's very much a dagger. And his school of thought, and the Japanese school of thought, is that you don't pull out your weapon until you're about to kill someone. So basically, if someone has you at gunpoint or at knife point, or you're immediately threatened with life or with death, you instantaneously pull out your knife and kill them, and then it's all one motion. I don't have a Tanto on me at the moment, but you pull out, you do your counterattack. It's very much a half a second ordeal. You don't move in and out of medium to short range. This is a very close range situation. You don't even really move your feet at all. I shouldn't say that, because you do move your feet, but it's not like you're backing away or anything. You're changing your relationship with them, but it all happens within a second. Someone's dead. That's it. And James Williams teaches, if you pull out your knife for self-defense, you shouldn't cut them a little bit. If you pull out your knife, that means that someone needs to die. It's a life and death situation, which I can respect that, but I don't entirely agree with it. This is why, if I'm able to pull out my knife, and let's say I don't have the chance to warn them, I pull out my knife, I defang the snake, I make a mobility kill, they can no longer attack or hurt me or harm me. There's no reason for me to kill them. So if I let's just say I cut someone's right hand off and they can no longer swing a club at me. There's no reason for me to stab them in the aorta or the heart, or split the skull open. So that won't look good for you in court. So it's all about context, and you can figure that out for yourself, or we can talk about it later. But yes, not all weapons self-defense you necessarily need to kill the other person. Let's just say a gun, for instance. Even if you're defending yourself with a gun, you shoot single body mass. You fight like you're going to kill. But if that guy survives, there's no need to finishing him off. That's what I'm thinking. With a gun and knives, it's a little bit different. But, with a knife, you can use less lethal techniques. A gun, you really can't be that less lethal. It's always pretty lethal. But, I believe if you have the ability to defend yourself without killing them, it's going to be better off for you. You don't have to lose sleep at night. You don't have to be charged with murder. And, So it's a good situation when you don't have to kill someone. At least I think so. I realize that James Williams, his audience is more of law enforcement and military, and Lynn Thompson, I think his audience is more of civilians, and so I don't think necessarily that either one of their techniques is the best technique for everybody. I personally think if you're going to learn edge weapons defense, that you need to learn both techniques, because Tanto Jutsu is very, very good at close quarters combat. And so is Filipino knife fighting. The Pikiti Torsha is very good for close quarters, knife fighting. But the thing about it is, you do not want to be in close quarters. Close quarters is the last place you want to be. And that's where Lynn Thompson's school of thought comes into play. You get at long range, you move in and out, you cut them, and you get out of there so he doesn't have a chance to counter cut you. And hopefully he looks down and he sees the blood that's coming out of his body and he goes, I don't want to do this anymore. But if he doesn't, if he has so much hatred in his heart, you can go to the next step and you can finish it. So, I think you should learn both. Be prepared for the worst, but, if it doesn't call for the worst case application of your knife, then don't do it. I don't know how to make it any more clearer than that. Some people say, well, don't be a coward, use your fists against unarmed people. I don't believe in the don't be a coward concept. If you're a woman, should you man up and bare knuckle box, say, 250-pound 6-foot man? No, you use the weapons that are available to you. If you're an elderly man, should you man up and don't be a coward against younger men? No. If you're being attacked by multiple assailants or thugs, should you man up, be a man, and don't be a coward and use your fists to get out of that situation? No. At the end of the day, all I want to do is go home. If that means using a weapon, whether it's a knife or a baseball bat or anything like that, I'm going to use it. If I feel I can defend myself unarmed, I'll do it. But if I feel that it's not going to end well for me if I man up and don't be a coward, I'm going to use a weapon. That's all it is to it. When you're on the streets, you don't know if once they knock you to the ground that they're going to stop. They might continue beating you, bashing your skull in until you die. It's very easy to beat someone to death, especially if there's no referee. So I perceive unarmed combatants who are trying to attack me while they're unarmed as lethal weapons. So I will react appropriately. And not to say that if a young lady attacks me and I'm clearly a bigger person, that I'm going to use a knife and kill them. I'm not saying that. If I feel I can take care of it unarmed, I will. So I don't know why I got into that subject. That has nothing to do with Lynn Thompson or James Williams. But yes, there was a time, place, and to use those different schools of thoughts. They're both applicable to different situations. Some are better than others in different situations. But yes, I would rather be at long range than close range, and I would prefer not to be charged with murder, if it's all possible. So the first fight is in the streets, the second fight is in court to protect your freedom. That's it. Hope y'all have a great day. I'm a Satsu 5, and I'm out.